Good afternoon, guys. It's Nick at Optima PS. Thanks once again for coming back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well today. I've had a great week with Friday afternoon, and I'm about to go to the pub, and I just thought I'd connect with you guys. And I don't really have much to talk about today, more just sharing some thoughts out now, because in one of those boring, grudgy, grindy weeks when it comes to the markets where nothing's really moved and everyone's getting all depressed again. So I figured I'd just jump on and share some thoughts and see if you all agree with me more than anything else. As ever, like I say, thanks very much for coming back to my channel. If you do like what I've got to say, please do give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Please do jump in the comments and tell me what you think as well, because I don't get a lot of interaction out of you guys. So it's always nice to know if you like what I'm saying, if you don't like it, if you agree with me or disagree. I'm not here to preach. I'm here to have a conversation, to share ideas, to see if we can help each other. Just on that, as you know, I'm a financial advisor, but I'm definitely not your financial advisor. Anything I say or do shouldn't be taken as financial advice because I don't know you, you don't know me. It's impossible for me to give anything but bad financial advice or inaccurate, incorrect financial advice under those circumstances. So this is just me being a bloke, sharing my thoughts on the internet, and hopefully you take a bit of value away from that. So, looking at the markets today, as we say, they've not really been much. We're down mostly on the week. Bitcoin 2.7, Ethereum 5.4. You look through Solana's down 4%, XRP nearly 6, Dogecoin about the same, Tron's up somehow. But taking a look at it, it's one of those miserable weeks where no one quite knows whether they feel good about the markets or bad. I bought more. I jumped on yesterday. I was a couple of points away from my target. When it comes to XRP, that was. So I bought about 2,000 more XRP, which gets me to somewhere I've been aiming to get to for quite a while. I bought a little bit of other things as well. I don't just buy XRP, although it's my biggest bag by an absolute mile. I bought a little bit of Render, a little bit of XDC, a little bit of XLM, and a little bit of Algorand. And I'm not quite sure how I feel about Algorand, but again, I had a little bit left over, so I decided to throw a bit in there as well. And it is one of those strange weeks. I mean, I did that mainly because I came into a bit of money and I thought I'd split it around a little bit. And I wanted to hit that target. And with XRP being down, it was a more attractive price. I've never bought XRP for above 60 cents. So with it falling down below again, I think it's about 56 cents I got in up. So I was quite pleased with that. And yeah, it was more just a case of talking. There's not a lot of optimism out there again at the moment. It's strange when you look at things like yeah, so it's been a strange week, and there's no real optimism out there. It's bizarre how some people flip from being the biggest bull in the world to the biggest bear in the world, and all it takes is a market correction, more not even a correction, let's be honest, a movement of a couple of percent the wrong way. I get it. People are waiting for this bull run to come. People want this to move along faster than it currently is doing. I do get it. I understand. Fear and greed is sat at 46, so just below dead center in the middle, isn't it? It's been a funny old week. So I wanted to talk about a couple of things because sometimes when you get to these points, and you see them a lot in the investment world, I'm much more experienced in the traditional investment world than I am in this side of things in the crypto world. I have been around for 4 or 5 years, so I'm not inexperienced in crypto either. But investment in general, you get these times. You get times when even day trading, I'll sometimes click on and try and trade the S&P on the open an hour or two. Ordinarily, the opening hour of the S&P is exciting. It either goes up or it goes down. You get a feel for it. You make a couple of trades. You walk away. I try and do that within the first hour because I'm the wrong side of the world and I like to sleep after that. Sometimes you sit there for 3 hours waiting for that trade to come and nothing even happens. Even that can be boring, which is the most exciting, cutting edge side of the excitement when it comes to investment and trading. With the XRP side of things, it's been a long grind. It's been 7 years for some people. A lot of people bought in 2021 at the very peak because they were told by these influencers that it was going to keep going up forever. And there's all these reasons to be negative at the moment, but there's a lot of reasons to be positive as well. There's a lot of news on XRP that actually blows me away. They've just minted more RLUSD today. The RLUSD thing is happening now. It's going ahead. We're going to have a stable coin ran by Ripple. If you do not believe that's going to be a multi-billion-dollar stable coin, I think you need your head checked. If you do not believe that that therefore opens the floodgates to the use case for XRP, I mean, the one thing about Ripple is they've never been inactive. With this whole thing, it would have been really easy. They'd already made their money, remember. They'd already sold that initial coin offering. They'd already made billions of dollars. They could have just closed the door and walked away. They didn't. All the way through that court case, they were out building relationships, talking to the community. Yes, there's arguments. There's people that say they manipulate the price. I think they do. I hope they manipulate the price. I know that sounds crazy, but if they're manipulating the price, it's for a reason. If there's one thing I've figured out about Ripple over the years, is when they do things for a reason, it's normally for the greater good of XRP, Ripple. They're not here to help us. They're there to help themselves, but we're just clinging onto the coattails, enjoying the ride, right? And when they do things like mint RLUSD, it's for a reason. It's because they know they're going to use it. I suspect it's going to be something to do with the AAM in the long run, having their own stable coin that they can use quicker and easier, more efficiently, in conjunction with Ripple, makes sense for cross-border payments, for currency transactions. Um, you then look at the next stage of things, which is all the extra interoperability parts, all the extra parts that come along, and it's tokenization and real world assets and all this. They've not been idle all the way through. And I think sometimes on these markets where we're down in the doldrums and things get a bit boring, we forget that. I mean, I've been sat here on one page there for 5 minutes. So apologies for that. Not much going on in the background, but we're down here. This is just the Ripple webpage. This shows you everyone they work with at the moment. There's some huge names in here. I work in finance, and BBVA is a company I use. SBI is a company I use. TravelX I don't. They're more on the money remit side of things and the foreign exchange. But you'll know these companies. These guys do not just get into bed with people at the drop of a hat willy nilly. If you take a look at, just some of the knowledge we have out there, these are the banks we know work with Ripple already. Santander, Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, Kotak, which is one of the India banks. I don't know that. Itaú Unibanco from Brazil, I don't really know them. You go through, there's all these different organizations that have come out and said, we work with Ripple already. We know there's 1,700 non-disclosure agreements out there. We don't know who they're with, but we've got good ideas. There's talk this week that JP Morgan have come out, that the Chase Bank have come out. All these big, Bank of America guys are coming out saying they either do or intend to work with Ripple. They're not doing this for the good of their health. They don't come out and say it unless they're certain. They can't possibly make mistakes like that. Go out and tell the world they do something, then not do it. There'd be an awful lot of comeback on that. So you're looking at a situation where this is happening. This is happening around the world. It's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, slowly perhaps. Probably more slowly than most of you guys out there want it to happen. Slower than I want it to happen. I'm a little bit different to everyone else in that I have certain things that I do and don't like about the sector. Self custody, I've never hidden away from the fact that I don't like it. For many reasons, but one of those reasons is I'm a human being, and human beings can make mistakes. I could cock it up. I could transfer it somewhere else to a dead wallet and accidentally burn all my crypto. You never know, right? I could go out for a meal with my wife and leave a candle on and burn the house down and things like this. I've done my best to protect myself against things like this, but I would much prefer there to be a day when JP Morgan, Bank of America, Barclays, Goldman Sachs, whoever it might be, turn around and say, we'll take custody of that for you. We'll look after that. Hey, we're going to make a bit of a profit on it. That's what banks do. But we'll pay you a good chunk of change. We'll pay you something you're comfortable with. Nick, you might cock it up if you go into the market makers. You don't know how to do it. You might not be experienced in it. You might make a mistake. You might get it wrong. We'll take all that risk on board and we'll pay you a percentage of our profits because we're professional bankers and you're not. That's what I want to get to. That's the stage I want to be at. So I don't mind if it takes till 2030 for me to see the numbers I expect to see. I'd rather it be tomorrow. Do I want to wake up tomorrow and find out I've got millions of dollars sat on a a hard wallet in my basement? Probably not, to be perfectly honest. It scares me to death. But in the reverse of that, it's not a bad problem to have, right? I'll take myself down to the bank where I've got my other hard wallets, and I'll put everything into separate, fixed deposit accounts, actual physical deposit accounts. I mean, they're fixed into the wall, things with double keys kept behind an iron gate in the vault. I'd be more comfortable like that. Until that point comes, it's not worth millions of dollars, and I'm not really particularly fussed. I do have things in bank vaults and things like that, but I'd be much more comfortable with a contract with a bank that says they've taken custodianship, they're insured against any losses, my money, my investments, my holdings are protected, my bags are protected, if you like. That's what I'm waiting for. But we're in this bizarre world where, of course, I'd like to be in a position where I go, wow, everything's happened overnight. We've got the money, but just wait, just wait. There are very, very few times in a professional investor's life where you can sit and look at the world and say, I found an investment that I have 100% confidence in. 100% confidence. I've never done it before, to be perfectly honest. I found lots and lots of investments that I've said I'm incredibly confident that this is going to do well. I found lots of investments that I've put a whole heap of cash into, some more than the crypto world, actually, because there's still things that can go wrong with crypto. But, it's very, very rare that I look at a company's business plan and I see exactly what they're trying to achieve, and I know just how profitable that will be. Am I 100% certain that all these things will come to fruition, and we're all going to be multi-millionaires off the back of our XRP or greater crypto holdings? No, you can't be 100% certain they will. If China decides to drop a bomb tomorrow, well, the world is a very different place. If the US decides to drop it, if anyone decides to do it, right? We're in a strange world. So there's never anything. We might be invaded by aliens from, like in a science fiction movie. You can't say with 100% certainty on anything, but with the exception of those extreme scenarios, I am more confident in this investment than I've ever been in any investment in my life. I just can't see how I'm wrong. There's a great quote on a movie I saw a while back, The Big Short, and it's Christian Bale's character who plays Michael Burry. And there's a real good quote on that where he's talking about how he thinks the whole system is corrupt and everything is working against him. And one of the junior kids in the office says, well, either that or maybe you're wrong. And he turns around and he says something along the lines of, well, maybe I'm wrong, but if I am wrong, I don't see how I could be. And then he takes a step back and he says, but I guess anyone who's wrong doesn't see how they are wrong, or they wouldn't be wrong in the first place, right? If you could see why you're wrong, then perhaps not. So there's nothing that's 100% guaranteed. But what I'm saying is it's incredibly rare. In fact, this is the first time ever I've said I'm 100% confident in something. The investments I do for my clients, they tend to be very, very well capital protected. Things like structured notes. I've got a good relationship with Goldman Sachs and a few of the big banks, and I can offer things like 100% capital protection on an S&P 500 tracker. It normally comes with an upside, so you don't get the full return. You might get 10% a year as a coupon for the next 6 years, something like this. But if someone says to me, are you 100% confident that won't fail? I can't say that. I have to say, well, no, I'm incredibly confident. I'm confident enough that if this fails, it's because the whole world has failed. But if, Goldman Sachs were to go bust, JP Morgan were to go bust, Morgan Stanley, whoever the relationship is with, then you're not protected. So nothing is 100% foolproof. But as close as I can be, I'm 100% confident that I'm right on XRP. I don't know what right means. Right might just mean that I make 50 times my investment. It might mean I make 5,000 times my investment. It might mean that XRP takes over the world, becomes the only coin that everyone uses as this reserve currency for tokenization, for everything, and all our wildest dreams come true, and it's worth $50,000 a coin. Don't quote me on that, by the way. I don't think that will happen. Or it might mean that we wake up one day and XRP is worth $50 and everyone's over the moon with that because that's enough. I could retire if XRP hit $50. I mean, as it happens, I could probably retire anyway, but that's not the point. I mean, based purely off my XRP. So I couldn't tell you to what extent I think I'm right or to what extent I think the outcome is going to mature, but I can tell you that I've never been more confident that this company, Ripple, have got this right. And that the reason every big major bank is at least sitting down and having conversations with them, every major CBDC that we're talking about coming, every major central bank who are considering the idea of a CBDC are talking to Ripple because the simple fact of the matter is they know these guys are doing it right. They're getting the job done. They're not there yet. Um, when will we moon? I don't know. It's a shame. I'd love the crystal ball. I'd love to tell you. Will we get better values on our XRP from here moving forwards? I strongly suspect so. But like with every investment in the world, it's going to be 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Do what I do. Enjoy the days forward. Give yourself a nice little pat on the back. When it drops again, buy a bit more. And it could be $10 more. It could be $1,000 more. It could be $1,000,000 more. It depends who you are. Buy a bit more that you consider a worthwhile investment that doesn't leave you short. I made a quote on someone's tweet the other day. He said, buy as much XRP as you possibly can. Buy. And I said, well, that's a great idea. But can I just make a suggestion? Buy as much as you can comfortably afford that doesn't put yours or your family's immediate financial future at stake. Becoming wealthy on the back of this is what everyone dreams of. It's not worth breaking the bank in the meantime. My family won't thank me if we have 10 years on the breadline only to then be mega wealthy 10 years from now, but we've missed out on the best years of my kids growing up. We couldn't take that trip to Disneyland. We couldn't, do it all within reason. But don't let these negative people all over the internet, as it seems at the minute, get you down. This investment is on the right track. This company is on the right track. There could be a million reasons why we've not seen this boom so far, but it's coming. Whether it comes next week, next month, next year, next cycle, dare I say it, next crypto cycle. I don't think so, by the way. I think we'll hit an all-time high this time, without doubt. I actually think we'll go quite a long way through the all-time high as well. I'm confident of that. I wouldn't like to put a price on it. I don't want to say to you guys, it'll be $50 and you all hold out for 50 and it hits 35 and then drops again and you miss the top. Keep up to date with the technical analysis. Follow the people you trust. Listen to the guys with the opinions. We should be able to know roughly where we're at around the top. And I don't know whether that'll be $3, $5, $50, $500, but I think the charts will tell us roughly when we're there. Let's go with the charts and the other action in the sector. If every major bank in the world is getting on board and moving into holding it, then we know it's got a little bit further to go, right? But just me thinking out loud. Listen, guys, I hope you've enjoyed that. I do appreciate there's no major information there. No, it's just me rambling along thinking of my thoughts, isn't it? But hopefully you took a little bit from it. As I say, please do punch that like button if you like what I've got to say today. Please do come back to me with any comments and feedback. Tell me if you think I'm wrong. I'd love to hear back and you guys argue, point out a difference in what I said. That'd be fantastic. In the meantime, that's all I've got to say today. Thanks very much for listening to me. I'll speak to you again soon. Have a great weekend. All the best. Nick.